on stage.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Impact Productions. First one, You Can't Escape Me, Mr. Magnus.
There is no escape. It's a very specific memory. The trailer, the TV commercial for the Transformers Armada video game back in the day, the one everybody likes. I always remember because it opened with a clip of a cutscene of Starscream yelling, "There is no escape!" And then they started rolling the stuff exploding in the action.
Of course.
So it's a memorable way to start something,
It
But
is.
he was like waving his sword dramatically,
Starscream being Starscream.
Yeah. Well, it was the Armada one, so he was arguably far more competent than his G1 self.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Something I was going to say last stream about Skybound that I think's really funny is, like, Daniel Warren Johnson, the guy that's writing it, he was a fan of the cartoon. He did not keep up with the franchise. So there's all these letters. Yeah, there's the new character he invented, right? Shredhead. That's the name. So there's all these things.
Like a beefed up Skids.
Yeah. Well, he changes into a van, so you're not wrong. But what was I saying? Yeah, so people will ask him on the letters page, be like, any chance we'll see, like, G-Axis or, even the Piranacons? And he'll just write in the letters, I actually don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, dear.
And it's kind of interesting, because, like, you see new characters like this guy, and I feel like other writers, even Brian Ruckley, who was the last guy, would probably look people up and use obscure guys where he's just inventing people.
Well, it's funny. I think in one of the other groups where we started getting into that, the difference between a G1 fan and a G1er almost breaks down into that. A lot of I believe it's the G1ers only know Transformers, only know of the G1 up until the end of the US cartoon, and completely forget that there were still toys released up until 91, and there was still the comic strip that was going on. So after that, it's like they don't know Power Master Optimus, they don't know the Seacons and everything else. Like it ended at the end of Rebirth, and that's it.
Yeah. And there's arguably a second classification of people who don't know that there was any new Transformers stuff released between the 80s and the 2007 movie, even though they never really stopped making things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder what I qualify as, because, like, I wasn't alive for, like, the golden age of G1, but I watched the cartoon because they reran it as part of Generation 2 in the 90s, so I watched a lot of it. And
You're not allowed in our club. You're not allowed.
Yeah.
What about
I grew up with the same show. I grew up with the same show. I watched the G1 cartoon before I went to school, which is what a lot of other people did. It was the 90s instead of the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, when they did those reruns, and it was weird watching it back and researching it, they really did a scattershot in terms of what they chose to play in terms of episodes, and a lot of key episodes they completely just skipped over, and I believe they skipped the entire second season, which I found weird.
Well, they didn't. They aired most of it. What they were doing was they were trying to air episodes that featured characters that were in the G2 toy line, specifically. So, like...
That makes sense now.
First year of Generation 2, they put out some Dinobots and some Constructicons. So what they did in the cartoon was they do the pilot, and then they skip straight to the Dinobot introduction, and then they skip straight to Heavy Metal War, and then they do a bunch of Season 2 episodes that feature the Dinobots and Constructicons, because they're like, well, we want to plug the toys because that's what's on shelves.
Right.
And, like, Golden Lagoon is in Season 1 because there was a Beachcomber in Year 1, and some episode with Red Alert and Inferno was in Season 1 because there was an Inferno toy out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it was such a weird, like, scattered mess of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I also remember around that time that you still had VHS and you had DVD at the same time. Some of the Rhino Day VHS late ones that came out around the same time the Beast Wars DVD set or a few years before. And they had, like, a weird selection of episodes as well.
Yep.
And you would have,
I remember two of the first episode sets that came out were uh, the Ultimate Doom just in one DVD set, and the Rebirth in another DVD set, and they were like heroes, villains, because this was at the time where you could just sell like 3 episodes of a show, and that was considered acceptable.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's something I do not miss, is having to buy anime or shows and like a lot. I remember like the
Oh, yeah.
Evangelion VHS tapes, and there were like 2 episodes a tape, I think.
Yeah, back in like my Jess used to work at a used media store called Deja Vu Discs, right? And they had a little anime section. I flipped through it and I was like, "Oh, there's an Evangelion set here," and it was like 3 episodes from like the middle of the show, and I was like, "Oh, these episodes suck. This is never gonna sell." This is like assuming you're invested in collecting the show bit by bit instead of just a box set.
there you go. So now we're gonna try to compress everything within our 1 hour time frame. RJ Eagle has a question. Speaking of Japanese continuity, who's getting Leo Kaiser? And before we answer that, we're gonna jump in some news from the website, because that's actually one of the news items that I did pick. So the first one, here we are speaking of Void Rivals.
Posable Nibble Man.
Yeah.
And
Void
Void
Rivals
Rivals
issue
issue 19. So what can we speak about this?
Standalone
issues now,
Skuxoid
right?
epic. Yeah. I love how they've just like the Skuxoid is now everybody's favorite character because he's had like an important role in this comic. There's a spoiler that I can give that is very
Already
tragic.
seen it.
Yeah, well, okay, so an earlier one than that. So you know how the Skuxoid back in the old cartoon was always like, "I got a wife and kids to feed," you know? That's why I'm doing this. They repeat that joke in this a couple of times, and then there's a point where he goes home, and it turns out that he lives alone, and his wife and kids are just like not there. So either he was lying, or they left, or they passed away, or something. And it's like a really sad moment. He's like, "I'm home," and he looks around the house, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he just sits at the table looking sad.
Yeah, it was around like the first few times you see Shockwave pop up,
Yeah.
and he's trying to sell the the octopus head looking dude.
Mm-hmm. Quintessons.
Well, not the Quintessons, but the guy that only had one head, and he would ask the Quintessons if it's like guilty or innocent.
Yeah,
That guy.
the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Reactivate may not be. Well, we don't actually know this is a Transformers thing. They're just speculating. They're doing
Okay.
something with Saber Interactive, who did like a popular Warhammer game. You know, even though Reactivate may have just been canceled, but I guess they're doing something else. But yeah, we don't even. They're just speculating it's a Transformers thing. Could be anything else. Could be Dungeons and Dragons. If anything, because they own that. If anything, that would make more sense.
Okay. And let's jump over to this.
Oh, so this is funny. So here's what happened. So just from being out in the fandom, the response to Leo Kaiser as the next HasLab has been kind of lukewarm here in the West, right? People were like, "Oh, he looks a little bit disappointing. He looks a little bit cheap," which is like what you don't want in a HasLab because they're supposed to have infinity money. Maybe we don't want this guy. Maybe we're not going to get him. And the list, the number that fills up as people bid on, add pledge to him. That's the word I was looking for. Pledge. It wasn't going very fast. And then the numbers from Japan and Asia came in, and they love Leo Kaiser over there, and it just went straight to funded. So
Interesting.
it's happening now. Like, if you're bidding on it, it's not a matter of it not happening. He's reached his like minimum threshold, so he's coming out, right?
Okay.
Entirely because Japan just loves him. Because there was this thing that was tracking it in a line graph, and it was just like not moving up very fast. And then when the Asian numbers came out, it just went like vertical, basically, right into funded. Yeah. So I mean, I've never gone in on a HasLab, and this isn't going to make me start. Not that I have any problems with Leo Kaiser. this is like because he's from Transformers Victory, so this is for the people that funded Victory Saber and funded
Mhm.
Deathsaurus. Because here's another member of that cast. I guess we're just gonna fund most of the show's cast as a HasLab.
And I
I
mean,
was going
again,
to do the Omega Prime until I found out that it was the exact same size as the RID.
Yeah.
And I already have two RIDs over here. It just comes with more joints, and Magnus's gun transforms into a bot itself.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
as
why
we
I
said,
canceled out of that.
yeah, and as we said at the time, we ran the numbers and we were like, well, if you don't have an original, it costs about the same to go in on the HasLab, so you might as well, might as well get the fancy new one,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
remember
about
him
it,
saying
right?
that.
Yeah.
uh, Impactor has a quick question. Mr. Magnus saying he's wondering if I could buy off one of your 86 hot rods in the future.
Yep. Spin is sending you my phone number. Text me, and we'll work that out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird that it's rare. I hope they re-release it because that's a good figure.
Even if they just do that canceled what was it, the one that was supposed to be in a Velocitron trunk, but
Oh yeah, I hope they find a way to make that
maybe a
eventually come
500
out.
one.
Yeah, that was like a toy colors version of the same thing.
Well, I know in one of the Facebook groups, again, there's always like two sides of an argument where and the one side I find interesting, people complaining about why does Hasbro, or HasLab need crowdfunding to generate a figure, and their figure, and in a sense, their angle is like, well, this company has millions of dollars. Why don't they just throw the money into it and create the character and then sell it? And but not realizing that funding, this type of funding has existed for in the last number of years. Like artists
Yeah.
will do the same thing too. Like, I'll put out a music album, but if you guys are truly my fans, everyone pay for my album ahead of time to fund,
Right.
creating the album, and it fully happens. So it's like, I've bought your album before you made it. I've helped you create this album. You're a part of the process.
Mhm.
It's a corporation Kickstarter is all it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And like the thing about it is
And I love it.
everything.
I love it because then
Yeah.
I don't have to wonder.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to release this on this date. I wonder if it's going to be any good. Instead, they've got to give us all the parameters that they're putting out there, and it's got to meet those parameters.
Yep. Exactly.
And like every has.
And like I said,
like,
whenever they first said Omega Prime, I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm in for that. I want an Omega Prime the size of that Unicron. I want an Omega Prime just the size of Studio Cell.
Mhm.
But then it wasn't.
Mm.
Whenever all the details came out, because I was in there for the early bird. I was going to get all the bells and whistles. Well, we're not giving an early bird prize for this one. It's just this.
Mhm.
And I checked it, and it's the exact same as RID, and I have a sealed set of RID sitting right behind me over there, and I've got the one over there on my table. So yeah, I canceled out of mine.
Yeah. Hey, the thing about every HasLab is that it's supposedly just stuff they can't do at retail because it's big and expensive enough that like Walmart or Toys R Us or whatever is not interested in carrying it,
Mhm.
and again they could sell it directly through like Hasbro Pulse or something, which they do with some figures, like the Hearts of Steel guys are just being sold through there. But again, it's risky because it's big and expensive, and warehouse space costs money. So they
Correct.
do this so they can
Well,
make exactly as many as people actually want.
Well, think of the Titans.
Yeah,
I got my Triptychon at Ross.
yeah.
For
They don't-
24
Yeah.
bucks.
They consider that a failure state, right? They don't want that happening, especially with something more expensive than a Titan.
Hmm.
Right. But I mean, what's his name was the same way. The Ark. The Ark was at
Yeah.
Ross centers all over the United
Right.
States.
I remember
That's a failed
actually,
sale.
that was the one Titan I saw in stores. I saw him at a GameStop.
Yeah. Well, what was I gonna? I had some point, but I don't remember what it was. Taking photos.
You'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Well, just before we jump into our main topic, the comments are running crazy again with the destroyers. I am the destroyer, and I call my army. From I am the destroyer. Hello there, I am the destroyer. Your mom, I am the destroyer. Special Agent Plunger Man, I am the Destroyer.
I
Finished.
would
Sorry,
really
go
like
ahead.
to know. I would really like to know what is going on with this. Like, it's amusing, but I'm like, what?
I love it.
Who?
I
What is
love
I
it.
happening?
love it myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And finished working for 2 hours, I am the Destroyer. And I am Transformers Toy Mom, I am the Destroyer. Speaking of Toy Mom, Toy Warp, who's usually a member within our collective,
Yeah, where is he?
yeah, he messaged earlier that he in a sense something was going on, so we hope that there's some good news down the road and everything's okay. So I don't want to
And
publicly
you all,
say
you all
whatever's
can't see it because of the way that I'm sitting, but
right. Magnus
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
also
I
his
had my I had my surgery 2 weeks ago.
mm,
And you can
So
still hear me
I'm
hacking and coughing from bronchitis. So now this is the winter of our discontent. Truly.
it truly.
Yeah.
And I know when Magnus first mentioned of like the cancellation of everything in terms of the operation, I'm like, they should have just sent you some Junkions, because apparently
Yeah.
like they did the job perfectly in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for those of you that aren't on my Facebook, this surgery did not work.
Mm,
Yeah, I've never
They were
heard of
not
that
able.
happening before.
Well, the muscle retreated underneath my shoulder blade.
okay.
It's completely torn loose, and all the hoops and stuff that we had to jump through with workman's comp, it took too long, and so the muscle retreated back underneath my shoulder blade, and it can't be gotten without taking a bone out. So they put a cushion in between the bones, and now we're training the other muscles to compensate. But it's a 40 to 70% loss overhead,
Mm,
and a 60 to 90% loss dragging towards myself, because that's the actual muscle that's ripped loose.
wow.
Yeah, it could be bad. So
Well, one of the comments seems to have tied into what actually happened to you. And Transformers is cooked says he got shot in the arm by Megatron like Optimus.
that's right.
Right.
I can't
You
deal
got,
with that right now. I can't deal with that right now.
you got hit with that brawn buster.
Now, see, if it were Shockwave shooting, like nobody would have gotten hit.
Yeah.
So as we jump into our main topic, in terms of Walmart stocks, I think I should be able to share this window, and passing through Walmart, getting the weekly stuff last week, and after leaving, like, I should have taken a picture of that, and that should have been a topic. So then I went back, took the picture, and I'm like, you know what, this is everyone's homework, and I'm gonna start off the stream with the Walmart that is closest to me. This is
Oh
what,
boy.
yeah, this
Yeah,
is
can you
what
zoom in a bit?
ours looks like.
So you have one Studio Series gamer sideswipe, if I read
Oh
that
yeah,
correctly
that's
from
a
here.
lot worse than mine's. I can see
And
why
then-
you're impressed.
Yeah, there's going to be a theme here. Transformers 1 gimmick toys.
Yeah.
Not the main guys. Those are pretty good. Oh, they have a couple of
The
fracks.
overstock TF1 stuff, well, the late stock Star Raiders, in order to overstock Transformers 1.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
seen
pretty-
any of the
pretty
final
barren.
wave of Legacy, much like the OG Beachcomber / DevCon wave. I never. So I
Yeah.
doubt I'm going to see those, like the redeco of Blitzwing and the re-release of that Victory Subtle guy and whatnot.
Victory, what's the name? Freaking Galaxy Shuttle. Which is,
Not
get to my
space-
photos, and there's something interesting there.
Yes, actually. Okay,
I'm going to
let me
say,
go back.
one thing to really quickly head off the thing that a lot of people say, this has nothing to do with Hasbro. This is all on the vendor, i.e. Walmart,
Yep.
and what they do and don't order.
I agree.
Yeah. So, because sometimes people are like, blame the company, and I'm like, well, don't blame the company. Blame the people ordering from the company.
Yep.
Exactly. So that image of Walmart is like where I am is just like myself and Fair. We're both a bit east of Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one Walmart that's east of Toronto, and actually there's a couple other images. I want to see if I can quickly save them
And if
and,
I
and
remember
bring them
right,
up on the
isn't
screen.
Sheba in Western Canada?
Yes.
Send us
She
a picture of
posted
what's
some
at
pics.
Costco, since there's always a Costco run.
Well, she actually sent an image. So and
Oh,
she
really?
may
Yep.
be in the comments later. But the one thing I was gonna also show is the comparison of the Transformers to the Barbie, and I noticed this years ago where it's like the Transformers section is always just kind of all over the place. The Barbie section is always stocked.
Hmm.
And let's see if I
Now,
can
does
get
that
that
mean they're ordering more or less of one or the other, or does that mean one is selling more than the other?
right.
I would say but because Barbie's Mattel, right?
Yeah.
So I know Motu, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and Turtles of Grayskull. That's Mattel, and I would say that's one of the few toy lines I see. And I say this as I hadn't seen any Reptile Wars stuff yet, but I've seen like all their waves of like Masters of the Universe classics and cartoon, the Stranger Things 2 packs, the deluxes for Turtles of Grayskull, the regular Turtle of Grayskull waves and whatnot. So I think that's maybe Mattel takes. I mean, I don't know, a little bit more initiative, or they actually when they say this is when it's going to come out, that's when it
Hmm.
comes out, and it's not like
Yeah.
Hasbro ends up popping up like 2 or 3 months before or after the date they said.
I will say, they did just straight up stop carrying Masterverse figures in Canada. Like, they just don't stock them here anymore.
Yep.
I
Uh,
will say there is one Walmart that I go to that doesn't carry any Motu stuff, which sucks. But otherwise, I
yeah,
mean, all my other Targets and Walmarts carry both the traditional figures, Form Factor, and then the like New Eternia and Revelations and all that type of stuff.
mm, yeah. Like, I was always a little bit annoyed that they stopped carrying Masterverse stuff in Canada, because I was looking forward to. They did really nice figures of the uh, movie Skeletor and He-Man, the Dolph Lundgren He-Man and the Frank Langella Skeletor, and I was like, I like that movie. I'll get those if I see them. And then the line just didn't get stocked anymore locally.
Hmm. RG Eagle says, yikes, Spin, your Walmart is worse than mine. At least mine had a few flinch and one thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Um, also says they're probably clearing space for Age of Prime's stock incoming. And
That's one way of looking at it.
true. And I've seen a few Walmarts where it's like that's how that section will look like for months on end. And RJ Eagle also says, also Magnus, sorry to hear about your shoulder and hoping for a complete recovery.
Well, that
Yeah.
won't happen.
Oh no.
And you said it's a muscle issue, right? More than muscle and skeleton. I only heard
No,
bits and
one
pieces of it.
the muscle that I tore loose is the muscle that I used to pull towards myself. I will not be able to push my 300-pound ass up in a push-up anymore
Hmm.
because that's the muscle that's gone. I can push up, but to go back down is going to be one-armed.
Right.
Yeah, I was asking because I know my uncle's an orthopedic surgeon, but that wouldn't help you since it's more of a muscle issue.
Hmm.
Right. Right. It's not in the bones, it's in the muscle. The muscle retreated up underneath my shoulder blade, and so they couldn't get to it. Every time they tried to grab it, it just tore more pieces off of it.
Ugh.
So what they did was they added a cushion between the bones, and so it keeps the bones from grinding against each other.
All right, now we're
So now
gonna
we just got to train the rest of the bone or the rest of the muscles to compensate for that loss of that one.
right.
It is in your shoulder, correct?
Yep.
And what he created this for orthopedic surgery technique that's orthopedic related for the shoulder, and any time anybody uses that technique, he gets royalties for it.
Mm.
I might have to ask my aunt to ask him if he knows any Well, he already had the surgery, but if he could think of anything, because he's helped me when I had some problems with my wrist in my early 20s with bone spurs that like press against my tendons like a sharp knife against a wet spaghetti noodle, is the way the specialist described it. And I was told I'm gonna have to deal with that the rest of my life. But my uncle, what's his name, Carl Bassamania, he gave me a lot of info that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Oh,
even
so
for his specialty. I mean, his specialty area is like orthopedic soldier. So he was telling me about risk stuff.
so this is one of my photos. Because I took a lot of them, not because I was trying to be a keener, but because my travels this week happened to take me to a lot of places.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is the Walmart that is closer to where Jess works, because it's right on the way. And you see, it's not quite as bad, but again, it's still mostly Transformers One gimmick toys, and then there's like a Studio Series Viacon there, and a bunch of core classes from like early Legacy and Studio Series from last year. Like they have a Viacon from War for Cybertron if you want a troop build. But there is a bright spot there, which is as you can see right there on the left, they got a bunch of Star Raiders still. So if you're looking for those, they got a whole wave of them. And then down below, there's a Bumblebee Skywarp, but outside of that, it's mostly Transformers One gimmick stuff. So
Yeah.
not the worst, but like not the best either. Whoa, extreme. Yeah. Oh, so this is the other Walmart I took a photo of. This is the one that's closer to where I live. And one thing I want to note here, they have core classes on sale for $9 Canadian, which is kind of a deal in our money. But yeah, same thing, gimmick toys, another Sideswipe, I guess he was the shelf warmer, a couple of Star Raiders. Then you get to the bottom and it's not bad, because they have Ferrac, they got Metal Hawk, they got a bunch of the Star Raiders.
The bigger size class
Yeah.
stuff.
There's a Leader Springer, Studio Series Leader Springer, if you want that. And there's the big multi-pack with Thundertron and stuff. So again, like not the worst, but if you're like a collector like me, you probably already have everything that you want from this. But if you don't have a Springer yet, go to the Walmart near me. Not that I'm going to dox where I live, but
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
GameStop.
yeah, so I went to the GameStop in my mall, which is where I tend to get Transformers. It's a very small store. I had to take multiple pictures because I couldn't back up enough to get the whole thing. That's how, because that's the size of it. But they have all the new things. There's Studio Series Galvatron, two Studio Series Ape Links. There's Galaxy Shuttle, Sedum, which you were looking for.
Damn.
A couple of
That's like a time
animated
machine.
Motor Masters. Yeah, this is all like the latest wave of stuff. And you can see right underneath them, they have the YOLO Park model kits of the Transformers 1 guys. But here's the thing about GameStop, because this is such a... And the website's like this too. They get all the new stuff, like right when it comes out, but they don't get a lot of it. So, like, all of these guys, as soon as they're off the shelves, you're not going to see them again, basically, right? Swindle is back.
Swindle is back, and RJ Eagle has a question. Who's the bigger shelf warmer, Road Pig or Ferrac?
Probably Ferrac, because Ferrac shipped in solid cases of just him. Road Pig came out with like with all the other guys, and in fact, he was one per case. Yeah, there's a little more of the.
I will say with the deluxes, I still see, because I know one of my pictures that I shan't spin is of. You see what deluxes or slash the war or the deluxe equivalent for Earthspark, and I mainly see like Road Pig, Flinch from the Star Raiders, and then the Legacy United Chromia and the Earthspark, or the nicer Megatron.
Yeah. So yeah, over here you can see they have a couple of the new wave of deluxes, which is like Sideburn and Quake, and then some old things. There's another Viacon, another old Studio Series core, that orange guy from RID. Yeah, so I think the lesson here is if you're trying to find new Transformers, try going to GameStop. They might already be sold out, but you might be lucky. I took a picture of up there because you can see they had a GoBots pack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they carry Generation Select stuff, like they always have. So That's where you can get it if you're here. Oh, okay, so this is Toys R Us, and this is the GI Joe shelf, which I wanted to take a second to show because they have the biggest GI Joe section I've ever seen ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all classified stuff, and it's mostly all new classified stuff. So GI Joe is alive and well at Toys R Us apparently. Like that's mostly all like new things. There's like one heavily discounted Snake Eyes figure there, and the rest is all like new stuff. And there's the Transformers section, and if you zoom into that sign, it says 20% off all of the Transformers 1 movie toys. So they're really
Yes.
trying to clear them out of there. And this is like somewhere in between. It's not as good as GameStop, but it's better than Walmart because like you can see they have mostly on the right side there. They have like the up there. They have some of those that new wave of deluxes I was talking about. They still have some Rise of the Beast stuff, but if you go down a bit, they have that 4-pack of guys with like Cliff Jumper and Tarn and stuff that people want, and right next to it they have the Fractured Friendship set with Orion Pax and Megatron, which in America is a convention exclusive. It just got released like normally here.
Really hoping that 4-pack hits the clearance shelf because the only thing I want out of that is Cliff Jumper.
Yeah, so many people only want like one thing. I would like the squeeze play, but like only if I can find it for a good price. That's just another picture of the same shelf because I couldn't quite get it all clearly. You can see the 4-pack and the 2-pack there. You know what I just
If I
realized
get
I
it
was
for the
doing?
deal like I did the last 4-pack, I'll send you the other ones like I did the last time.
Oh well, okay. I mean, I wouldn't say no to the rest of them, just like before, right? You know what I realized while this was happening? I was pointing to this at like you could see me pointing to things. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you can see right here. I'm like, wait a minute. I need one of those sports things where you can make highlights appear on the screen.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or do like a whiteboard like in some videos. Um, Dr. Globe says it's not just Walmart. My local Target matches the thumbnail. Dr. Globe, as opposed to asking, I guess you are all over the globe. Where are you located in terms of like what city or Canada, state, province,
Yeah.
or state? Where are you
State/province.
located? Yeah, where is your region in terms of your Walmart looking just like that thumbnail? And we're gonna get over to the Sedembach Arts image that he sent earlier, and it's quite a comparison.
Yeah, I remember I saw yours really briefly, and it was like not bad. I think it's
Dr. Globe is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born and raised.
yeah,
Fresh Prince.
yeah. I like his Philip. Oh yeah,
Oh, that's still Fear and Curses on the screen now, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like,
so-
I didn't take anything that was diagonal looking. I'm like looking at my stuff right now.
Yeah, what I was gonna. I just like how my conclusion was just go to GameStop or Toys R Us. Just don't go to Walmart if you're looking for Transformers. Oh yeah, let's look
stuff
at this.
that's not exclusive to them. Okay, let me look. That's
okay.
the first one, the vertical picture.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
That is, from over here I see almost entirely Transformers 1 movie stuff again.
Yeah, there's
And,
only
like,
like 4 pegs. Like 2 of them are Star Seekers. Then I moved the one Megatron aside and put a Chromia so you could see what the main deluxes they had in a later picture.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: it's not all of the Transformers 1 stuff. Just like the gimmick toys, like the normal deluxes they did, those are all gone because people bought them because they're like good, and a lot of the nicer large things are like gone too. Right? So it's just
I
the
still
gimmick
got
toys
the
that stuck
deluxes because I'm
around.
looking at the picture. Because I see the Optimus
Oh, you
and the
do, eh?
Bumblebee, and then the exclusive whatever that Quintesson that came with the
Oh.
Energon cube.
Hey, we never got the Quintesson up here in Canada, so I guess that's lucky for you. Oh yeah, so you got the good figures there still. I don't know if that's good or bad because they didn't sell out. But also, if you're looking for Transformers 1 stuff, the decent things are actually still there.
Yeah, because I managed to get. It took me the longest time to find Sentinel Prime and I finally found him at a GameStop because
Yeah, of
he kept
course.
on being picked over. They would have B Optimus and Alpha Trion,
Hmm.
but the Sentinel Prime would always be picked out.
Yeah.
So
Personally, I'm just waiting for the Studio Series ones instead. But that's I can because I'm like I can wait and they scale a bit better. But I hear
Uh,
those ones are all really good figures too.
uh,
um
RJ
uh,
says, we got to see some Target and GameStop US picks.
I
I got
agree.
and
I'm
Target.
getting
RJ,
interested.
let us know in the comments if you want to see what that same Walmart that Spin's already shown the TF pictures of. If you want to see what their Turtles of Grayskull and otherwise Masters of the Universe is like, because I did take pictures of that as well.
And Dr. Globe says, I don't know what Walmart looks like here in the United States. The closest Walmart to me is a 30-minute drive.
Oh, that's interesting. I hear they're pretty common. Like there's more of them that I could hypothetically have gone to. I just was like, my
I
travels have taken me to two already. That's enough.
Well, I'm not allowed to drive while I have this thing on.
14
So
Mm.
Chinese market
yesterday, when me and my fiance went to the store, I had her go to the two Walmarts in Owensboro
Oh,
and
Okay.
a
cool.
Target.
Yeah,
But
there's 5 Walmarts near me,
there are six
and only one of them's out of the
within
way.
35 minutes of my house in any direction.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a kind of like there's parts of Toronto that's like that too. If you're in wherever you're located, there's a Walmart. Like basically, you're surrounded by Walmarts essentially.
Yeah. Which it's not the worst thing because you can get groceries and stuff there. So.
True. Now, this one image, and it's a coincidence that
Oh damn!
that someone had shared this image, and see if I can pull up the group that they're in. And the person's name is Ray in the
Oh my
G1.
God.
Yep, in the G1 Transformers Universal group, and
Hmm.
he said his Optimus restock overload. Um,
Jeez.
yeah,
Everybody, buy that figure. That's like one of my favorite Transformers ever.
Yeah, I think that's the one figure from that deluxe wave I never did see in the wild.
Yeah, I pre-ordered mine off of GameStop. That's how I got it. I haven't actually seen them on the pegs anywhere.
Uh, I saw one and I bought it.
Yeah.
That's the one that I've got.
So
no, I
obviously this is where they all went.
yeah. So I don't know where this person's located, but it's just a coincidence they showed this image in the group, and I'm like, I have to bring that in tonight.
And like all over around it is like normal stuff. There's like movie toys above and like Earth Spark stuff and authentic stuff below. So
Mm-hmm. All right, and now we're gonna get over to Magnus's images in a minute.
And there's a bunch.
Yes.
yeah,
Because
I'm interested.
I also went to the place that I tell you all about called the Collectors Mall.
Oh.
And I took pictures of the two big Transformer sellers there. It's booth 124, which is ran by a buddy of mine named Kevin. And so local people go to Collectors Mall, booth 124, and support him. And then booth 284, I think, is Toyminator. Kevin is also known as the guy that drives around in the van that says, I buy toys. And Toyminator also has a van, but it has a great big pig in the back of it that says, I buy toys.
I know what he means by Toyminator, but I interpret it as like a rat being like, "It's the Toyminator! Everybody look
That
out!"
sounded very
Yeah,
rat trap.
that side is actually
Yeah.
on the outside of the Collector's Ball. The Collector's Ball is a 400 by 600 building. It's the whole right-hand side of a huge strip mall in Owensboro.
Okay.
And they've got everything in there. They've got ATVs, they've got collectibles, Legos, antique furniture, handmade furniture. It's just a great big swap store. Yeah, this is the Toyminator's booth.
Oh, what do they got? It's all like harder to find things because it's Kingdom Inferno and a Rescue Bots Heat Wave and a Studio Series Cheetor. See, this is slightly older stuff, but it's all older stuff you can't easily get. Oh, there's alternators down
There's
there.
an alternator. I'm
What?
noticing that.
See, you immediately zoomed in on that. Only got a Super 7 Optimus up above. You kind of can't really get those in physical stores normally. Yeah, see, this is interesting stuff. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
It's one of those
This is-
displays.
Those good old
Yeah,
glass
this
cabinets.
is also Toyminator.
Oh, okay. This would be one of those places where I'm like, oh, I'm leaving with something. You know? Probably nothing huge, but just on general principle, I'm going to find something here, you know? I'm leaving with something.
This
Is
is
that
also
Lego?
a Toyminators. Yes, and it's I think I got a picture of the picture that bin is like 2 feet thick, and it's $5 a bag. He's got these little like popcorn sized bags, and you're not allowed to pick. You have to use one of those shovels and scoop and dump them in, and you can fill it to overflowing.
That's
As long
That's
as-
amazing.
if you
That
get-
is
if you
such
get-
a good idea.
If you get that bag to the cash register, it's $5.99.
That's an incredible idea.
Yeah. Swindle is asking, where is that place?
This is in Owensboro, Kentucky.
I feel like the answer to whatever we're doing, looking at these pictures, will be like, we all just got to go there because that's where everything is.
Well, when y'all come down for the wedding, we can make a trip out there. It's
Yeah, jeez.
yeah, it's not just open on the weekends. It's open Monday through Sunday.
Like I'm not even a big Lego guy, but it's like let's leave with a bag of Lego bricks just for the novelty, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. RJ says, yes, definitely. Thanks. Set Bach would love to see the Turtles and even more Masters of the Universe picks as well. Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse would be bonus too.
This is like a shelf at a convention. I see some of the reissue Beast Wars guys there because of the eye. Oh, that's a Optimus Primal, eh? I can tell. I can tell from here because of the shape of the silhouette on the box. Oh yeah, they got Toxitron, Cloud Cover. Oh, those are some like box G1 guys there. Those aren't like reissues or anything, I don't think. Or maybe they are. I don't know. I can't tell at this range.
And there's a kick, like one of the recent kickbacks in Ramhorn, it looks like. Or sorry, Bombshell.
Yeah. I like that set's a bit too pricey, but if I ever saw it on cheap, I'd probably get it, not for the Insecticon, but to give my Retro Blaster another cassette.
Yes.
You see, with these guys here, their phone numbers are on their cabinets.
Yeah.
You can call and haggle with them, and if y'all come to a price, then you can take the phone up to the cash register, and he'll tell them there, and they'll type it in.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's, it's not like these are the only two people in this vendors mall. The vendors mall or the collectors mall is probably 200 vendors.
Oh, okay.
That's why each one of their price tags has a booth number on it.
Right. Well, that's a grandizer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's some reissue Beast
Yeah,
Wars
no,
guys
this is
again.
Kevin. This is the second side of his booth 124.
Okay.
Yeah, he has like a whole row of booths, and two of them are Transformers. This is his main G1 primarily.
Oh. You have to go bin diving. Hey, look, it's an
Yeah.
old Masterpiece Starscream.
Yep.
There's a
I actually
G1
got-
blaster.
He was there Saturday, and he actually let me dive through 3 of his bins in the back to see if I could find a fin for Rodimus.
Yeah, this is the kind of place I could spend a bunch of time at. I can't do this now, but like this is the type of picture where like I would make a game of trying to zoom in and then seeing if I could ID every single visible figure.
Oh, gosh.
I get pretty far on those. It's the third party stuff that trips me up because I don't really know that. But like if it's first party, generally I can pick it out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely useless in real life talent, but you know. Oh yeah, nice. They Alita 1. Buzzworthy Silver Streak, old Revenge of the Fallen Ravage.
Wow.
Oh, I guess that's a. What wind charger is that? That wouldn't just be a vintage one, but they never reissued him. Well, that's the keychain version. It's probably the keychain one.
Right.
Yeah,
What
they.
is it? Tracks.
Somebody read from Buzzworthy, probably Cliff Jumper. Old movie toys again.
No, it's the pterodactyl.
Oh, Pterosaur. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
The Toy Colors version. Yeah. Oh man. There's the Soundwave helmet. There's a what is that? There's a siege set up there.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah, it's-
Jurassic Park. Oh, that one over there on the right-hand side.
Yep.
That's Thundercracker.
Oh, nice. There's a bunch of Grimlocks there. And you got more bag stuff. Oh, your cup runneth over. This is like spoiled. There's a reissue Gears.
Wow.
Yeah. I try to be carefuler with my money nowadays, but like I would definitely leave something from a store like this just on principle, you know. Even if it's not an expensive thing, I'd just be like, I have to, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. RJ says, gosh, that booth has got a ton of classics there and reminds me of Toys when they were still around.
Yeah. Gosh, I think there's still is there still one in the Scarborough Town Center over here? I think there is.
Maybe.
It's pretty far away from me, so I'm comfortable naming the location. They used to have one there, and like you could get slightly older stuff there, which was always kind of interesting.
Right. Now let's a couple more images.
And I can't tell if this one's Walmart or Target.
Walmart.
Okay, so this is, but I didn't separate them. The Walmart's, it's both stores, so you'll get two pictures of each store. So there's this one.
There's that 4-pack of mostly old toys, but the Optimus is new, but like most of these are like re-releases of old authentic Skies. Yeah. Oh, this is pretty not bad from here. What's up top there in the is that a Transformers thing or is that something else?
No, it's a generic, just robot man type thing.
Oh, it's a
Cybomech.
bootleg.
Cybomech.
Cybomech.
Mostly Transformers 1 stuff. They still got some Godzilla things. Oh yeah, this is looking close. This is actually all Transformers 1 stuff almost entirely. Plus some like
Yeah.
authentic stuff, some like, you know, authentic tat. So I mean, it's not barren, but what's there isn't necessarily something you'd be after. Oh, they do have a Studio 86 Bumblebee. That's good.
I still see
Yeah,
a
he's
lot
sho-
of those
he's-
around.
He's shuffling
All
here
of
like
my
crazy.
other Walmarts, just not the
Well,
one I had pictures of.
Studio 86 Bumblebee is part of that thing they're calling A-level assortment,
Yep.
where they ship in solid cases that they order separately from the main line. And they're like Transformers 1 Optimus was one of these, the upcoming Devastation Optimus is one of these. And they do it on purpose because vendors like Walmart will sometimes be like, just give us a bunch of the main guy. So that's why they release them like that. So if you see a lot of them around, that's like semi-intentional because they ship in cases that are like just them. I keep turning the lights off on my end because I'm trying to take a few pictures of the glow-in-the-dark bits on some of these blokies.
Here we go. And, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Transformer.
Oh yeah, they got Party Wall up there. I still need
Yeah.
to do a review of him. He's just on the
Yeah, I
back
still
burner.
see him around at Walmart.
Well, they
Targets
they
again,
did a
just not
new-
the one I was at. But every other
They did a
Walmart
new production
Target I
run
see
of
him
him.
at.
Yeah, he got a new production run, so that's probably why he's common again. Which,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
would
good,
be
like-
tempted to get him and get the non-F like metalhead
Mhm.
and the toy hacks to make him even more metalheady. I don't really care
Yeah.
because I like metalhead. He's like one of the few TMT characters along with Letterhead, which is kind of weird that Metalhead, Letterhead. What is it about me and head characters in TMT that I got figures up just as much or more as the bros? So go figure.
There we go. And target. There we go. So that's the last run.
Jeez, like again, it's like all movie stuff, and it's all completely stocked.
There we go.
Oh, there
Yeah,
we
this
go.
is
Like
Target.
this is almost better because at least it isn't all movie stuff. There's a brawn. You want a brawn? There's a brawn.
The Fast and the Furious. Oh, I haven't seen those little almost like you could almost use them as chess pieces. I haven't seen those in a while.
Oh, see, this is pretty good. Like, actually, when you go down here, they got Ratchet. There's the 4-pack of guys that people are after. There's a bunch of Legacy Evolution guys. Yeah, that is the strongest of these entries so far that isn't a specialty shop.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Target Prime.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice. Obviously, we don't get that in Canada because we don't have Targets here. Yeah, no, that's like a 6 out of 10 spread. Oh, unrelatedly, you got those Batman Forever retro figures up there.
Oh yeah, I saw those. I was like, what the hell?
Listen, regardless of any of the quality of the film, that was like a toy line that was out when I was a kid. So I'm not really after those, but the packaging very much like stirs a bit of nostalgia in me. Like I remember those. I had a couple.
Cool. Let me see if who else is left. So Sheba had sent an image, and get hers on the screen.
Oh well, there's a Springer right in the middle. So
Wow.
actually, you know
That
what?
sucks.
No, like when I actually start to
there is
pay
some good
attention,
stuff.
I'm
I
like,
see that Springer.
there's a
What
was
are
that a concept
Where are those two
Sunstreaker
right
there?
up above, right there in the middle, above that Springer,
Uh,
the
It's
kind
like
of purple
Legacy
boxes?
something or other.
Those are legacy guys. That is, I can tell the one on the left is Crankcase. Oh, it's Crankcase and Skullgrin.
Mhm.
Yeah, those two were shelf warmers. Which, by the way, Skullgrin being a shelf warmer is a damn shame because he's like a dark horse favorite of mine, figure wise. It's really fun to just pose and stuff. And they got a bunch of Star Raiders below, so again, if you want those, you got them. There's like 2 Sunstreakers there next to Springer and Starscream.
Right.
So this is like, again, not the worst, but not the best. But the big thing being, like, if you're a collector, you probably already have these.
Well, I mean, in that case, does that really push people to order online as opposed to trying to get them in the stores when you see the store shelves looking that look like this?
I was gonna say,
I
like,
order online, period.
yeah, I was gonna say,
I go
like,
to I get all of my pre-orders out, especially from Big Bad Toy Store, because Big Bad Toy Store doesn't charge you until it goes into your bin.
mhm.
And so you can pre-order for months, and then whenever it finally hits, you get a notification. You get an email saying, hey, your order is going to process soon. Do you still want it?
Oh, that's
And then
oh,
2
that's
days,
something I could really use.
and then
Yeah.
2 days later, it's going to hit your bin, or 3 days later, however long it is. I don't know what their pre-notification is,
Right.
but I pre-order 2 or 3 on Big Bad Toy Store, and then if I find it in the wild, I save myself the $5 shipping. I buy it, and then I usually from my phone I just go to my thing and take one off.
Yeah. The thing I was gonna say was like I try not to be this guy about things getting worse over time, but like I have noticed, at least locally, physical distribution is not what it used to be, at least here in Canada.
Mhm.
Because the actual thing pre-pandemic, like 2019, one of the sort of facts about my collecting was like I could count on 2 hands the amount of Transformers I'd ever ordered online. I just never bothered because I'd either get them in person when I saw them or get them at TFCon if I never saw them. But like post-pandemic, like I get most of these guys probably like 75% of these guys online, because if it's something I'm after, I'm like, well, I might as well just pre-order it because who knows when it's going to show.
No,
Yeah.
RJ Eagle says, I love Big Bad Toy Store, but I'm sad they got rid of the paying for with Sizzle. It's still my go-to.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never bought anything off Big Bad Toy Store. I think because I'm in Canada and they're an American company. I will once in a blue moon get things off ages 3 and up because they actually are a Canadian company. Like they're based in BC, so the
Right.
shipping and stuff is like better than it would be if I went off BBTS. So it's not a matter of specific preference. It's a matter of geography.
A comment from the other Sedum Bach Arts. Sedum, can you read this one?
Atarashi Gaikoi Omakase hand leaders.
I was just thinking,
This
I
song
felt
I got stuck in my head, and their
I
song
felt bad
changed.
the other day because a couple of the recent reviews I've written, I named the designers of a couple of the Transformers figures because it was relevant to what I was writing, and it's always an American name and a Japanese name. And I wrote the Japanese name down, and I'm like, well, good luck to Toy Warp if he ever does a video of this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
that's
do
my
the
other
research.
favorite song by
Yeah,
them.
try to find
So,
somebody saying the name somewhere.
Mhm.
before we wrap up, though, I do have a little bit of something to talk about here.
Okay.
The we got the wedding coming up. We've been doing a lot of work on. In September, for those of you who don't know, me and my wife or my fiance are going to have a Transformers themed wedding. Now, I still don't know anything about the girls. I know who's in it, and I know that they're going to be wearing purple, and they are going to be Decepticons because that's Amanda is the Decepticon in this household. So on my side, I will be dressed as Ultra Magnus.
Mhm.
Jamie, my best friend, my best man, will be dressed as Megatron.
Nice.
Now it's not that we are going to be in like full cosplay. Our outfits, our attire is going to represent their colors.
Okay.
And so whenever we walk in, all of me and my groomsmen are going to be wearing my helmets
Nice.
coming in. And so
Nice.
since there's not an Ultra Magnus, and I do have an Optimus Prime, it's going to be my computer tech is going to be dressed as Optimus Prime. So I ordered this one off of online, and I'm going to turn this into the Ultra Magnus face.
Oh.
And
It'll be
then
interesting to see how that
my
goes.
my number one apprentice, CJ, who is also going to be standing up with me, is going to be wearing Bumblebee. And so I'm going to turn this into a G1 Bumblebee,
Okay.
which is basically I'm just going to cut all this facial mask stuff off because
Yes.
my Bumblebee has a face.
Has a face.
Mhm.
And he talks.
Yeah, and he talks. Yeah, so it's going to be something. It's definitely going to be something. I haven't decided if I'm going to go full white Ultra Magnus, like the Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, where he's just a white Optimus Prime. I'm thinking of doing that, but then I would have to have a Optimus Prime face,
Right.
and I could turn that into an Optimus Prime face pretty easily as well. So I'm still juggling that, but I've got all their jackets. They've actually already arrived. Pete, of course, will be in a red jacket with a powder blue shirt as Optimus Prime. Jamie's is silver with a silver metallic shirt underneath.
Nice.
And we're going to either put a black stripe down his right arm only to represent the cannon,
Okay.
or I may actually make a cannon and just have it Velcroed to him. And then CJ as Bumblebee, his is a bright banana yellow jacket, and I found these beautiful bright banana yellow tennis shoes.
Well, you got to
So
give him Gotta
Do
give
what?
him a shirt, just like a Bumblebee's interior. I think his seats were pink.
Oh, I was just going to have him black and then black pants just to
Okay.
represent the windshield and the legs, and then everything else just neon yellow.
Cool. One last comment before we wrap up for the evening. Son Bacard says, by the way, if you want a song you can really headbang to, look up
Yeah.
Maximum the Hormone Shimi. It features those girls I shared song titles of earlier.
Maximum the Hormone is such a questionable sounding title.
I love that song. That's how I got introduced to them. Is that song by Maximum Hormones, a male group, metal band group, and that's what they mainly do. Whereas Adarashi Gaikoi, they have a variety of stuff. I mean, they'll have stuff where they have like rap. They'll have like this change, like sounds very Latin American in parts,
Hmm.
with like some jazz trumpet mixed in. So they have a variety with their sound, and they also dance. They're dancers as well. So I really
Nice.
appreciate that about them because they're both singers and dancers. And I remember I used to do photography of dance and music concerts before COVID, so I really like their music videos, like to
Nice.
watch, not just listen to. I have to, it's like the equivalent of when you don't skip the song intro.
Hmm.
Well, them it's like I actually watch the music video on YouTube when I'm listening to the song. I don't
Nice.
just listen to the song. I watch the music video as well because,
What you
like I
should do
said,
is
they're
you should go
dancers
into
as
the
well.
Children of Primus Discord server, go down to put some sounds on, and post
Oh,
some
I
stuff
know.
from them there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been working on some playlists, and once I get them at a decent point, I'll probably share them around on Discord and the different groups and in.
Yeah. I should add a few more things to that. The Midnight just dropped a new song. Everybody should listen to it.
Nice. Well, we're gonna wrap up for the evening. So, Mr. Magnus, what do you have coming up for the week?
Well, like I said earlier, I've got Whirl should be arriving. G1 Whirl picked him up off of eBay. And for those of you who need to know, Big Bad Toy Store has got the pre-sale going on, or the pre-order going on for the Siege Skywarp, which at one time was a $300 figure for $49. They were also going to be bringing back all the Siege forms of all the other jets.
I highly recommend the Side Swipe and Slam Dance 2-pack with the little Battle Master. That's a good set of figures.
Yep.
Yeah. I reviewed them a million years ago. If you want to do a search on my blog bots on the website, you can find a review of them. It's
Nice.
old, but like I looked at them.
Well,
Shiba Go, we made it.
Made it.
Hey,
We
Shiva.
And we shared your
Shiva the
image.
Shiva.
yeah, we looked at your images.
We looked at your image. And
Make a
Shiba-
Costco run.
We just made it just in time. It's I know how Costco is. You go in and it's either you go in exactly for what you need and get out, or you're stuck in there for a while.
Shiba, you need to after this is over with, you need to go back and watch this show and watch the collector's mall part of my section. And look at what I get to go to every day. If I want to, I can go over there every day of the week.
Shiba also says also a meeting ran stupid long. Those are those are the best. Just when you're about to round up and someone's just like, "But I have a question." Like dun dun dun.
Oh,
Set on Bach Arts, what do you have coming up for the week?
I am working on this, which is gonna be a painting of an old lithography print I did in I want to say 2024. The character that's in it already is the blonde on the bottom who she fights controlling her hair, whereas her rival Zato, I mean, he fights with his shadow, which is a dragon. So I'm probably gonna incorporate him and maybe kind of peeking over or almost bending the top corner of the page to like grip onto the circles around her, which are a reference to a. I gotta pull it up. Alfini Jamucha, the Four Arts painting. Okay, where's the pictures? Da, 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 da. Okay. Yeah, that's the print that I'm referencing by Alfini Mucha, which is out of the Four Arts. That's painting. It's of this figure of Malia Rage from like the 2000s, and she's sitting on her hair. This is the original drawing, and then it was trying to remember screen printing, actually lithography printing. So I was only had the color of the paper and the black of the ink. So obviously I didn't, and I mean whatever I shaded, but with something interesting with lithography is that you can, if it's a freshly made Xerox, you can transfer that to your lithography plate, and then I end up shaded in the circles just so it had at least some tones in it. But obviously, I want to do it in full color this time. Like, and I've been meaning to do that. Like I said, I originally did this in 2004, and it's 2025 now. So I'm like, I'm gonna finally give her color.
It's never too late to
Well,
finish something.
Sedum, I often forget that there's also a Evangelion pre-order going on Big Bad Toy Store of a new Unit 1. Yeah, he's got some big blaster gun.
Stingy's unit.
Yeah, the light purple one.
Okay, I have to keep that in mind.
It looked pretty sharp. I haven't dug into it to see the size of it, but it looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, I'm sure Runa, that girl that I made the joke like a few streams ago about the figures she buys versus the stuff, she's like a really into Ava as well. So, I mean, she's cosplayed as, was it Asuka in Unit 1, and then her friend that I know her through Tanuki, she's also big into Ava, so they probably could tell me about it. So I'll have to ask them.
Cool. So, Shiva Kovi said, emphasis on stupid in regards of the meeting running stupid long. And before we get over to fear, RJ says, thanks, Magnus. Yeah, hurry and get that Siege Skywarp. I was lucky to get it the first time around, but it was ultra rare at one point.
Yep. Like I said, it jumped up to like $300 the first time around. It was hard to get. Fear, was it a Amazon only? Was it Amazon exclusive?
Originally, yeah.
Wasn't that why it was so hard to find?
Well, okay, in the U.S. it was Amazon exclusive. In Canada, it was at Amazon, but you could also get it at GameStop. So it was split between. I mean, it still never. Still never saw one at GameStop, but like I said, I got the Sideswipe set at GameStop because they had it in stock there. But yeah, it wasn't exclusive. You know, exclusives are always harder to get because they make less of them.
Cool. And Fear, what do you have coming up for the week, or what have you just released?
My latest bot review, which took me 2 weeks to get up because of literally blame winter. I spent like 4 days shoveling snow right in the middle of these 2 weeks. So
Yes.
yeah, the currently rare, soon to not be rare, Beachcomber with Paradise Parakeet. I say not rare because there's a pre-order for more of him now, finally too.
Yeah, I pre-ordered him and was it? I think Alter Magnus that they reissued at the same time.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time comparing him to the old Power of the Primes one because a lot of people probably have that guy and wonder if he's worth the upgrade. Is he? Find out by reading it on childrenofprimus.com.
There you go.
Yeah, and I've been taking pictures of all the Blokies I have all night because I was like, I think it's time to do something with those. So I'm taking the photos. I'll do a write-up on those guys. I suspect it will be a very rambly conversational thing compared to my usual format just because they're not a usual kind of item, and I got a lot of them to talk about. So, look forward to that.
Cool. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. I thank everyone in the comments for hanging out, sending our positive energy to Toy Warp. just from
Hope you feel
the
buddy,
message.
buddy.
Yep, hope you feel better and everything that's going on. So I hope we get some better news. And same to you, Magnus. Hopefully there's some better news down the road with your arm as well.
Mhm.
We'll find out. It's healing. I have physical therapy twice a week, so
Mm,
It's a process. The process is ongoing.
yeah.
yeah. Well, I did this one 15 years ago, but it wasn't a total tear.
Mm,
Everything. And this one's like it's bionic. It's great. I was hoping for this one, but it didn't pan out. So we'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens. All right, and then thank you everyone, and subscribe to the channel and check out all of our cool videos. And as we see at the end of every stream, till all are one.